Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. Home. It's just a beautiful word. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful feeling. And I am very, very happy to be back home. I have missed the Phineas Wright house. I have missed these beautiful gardens and expanse and beauty that I love to share. I am loving that it's just in time for fall to begin and to see all of the changes. And of course, I am so happy to be back with Amelia. She is, well, you guys know, she's my favorite human on the planet, but it's amazing. Just this wonderful, lovely, young woman that she is becoming, and how blessed I am to be her mom. And it's a beautiful reminder to be reunited with her. And we have lots of fun plans this weekend to have a dinner party with her best friend and just catch up on all the good things that I missed while I was in France living my best life, and she was in Massachusetts with her dad living her best life. So all is well. It is a bit of an adjustment to be home, but I'm so happy because it's only going to be for about a week. And then I am off to France again because why not? It's so fun. This life of yes that I'm living, that I am inviting you into, is life-changing and heart-filling and expansive and wonderful. And I'm so happy that we are doing this together. We are having these beautiful experiences. We are modeling to our daughters, to the people in our lives, what is available for them as well. And it just feels like everybody is winning in this process because they are. I am also loving these gorgeous conversations that I am having with all of these beautiful women, including today's guest. She's so fun. She's so fabulous. In fact, she is referred to as Miss Positivity Pants, which who doesn't love that? Today we have Molly Smith. She is a coach, a best-selling author, and an international speaker. She is a breakthrough and emotional wellness coach, dedicated to helping women break free from burnout and step into alignment with their health, mindset, and purpose. She blends practical strategies with personal experience to guide women toward lasting transformation, one small, empowering step at a time. A former corporate executive, podcast co-host, and mom of two, she understands the juggle of career, family, and personal growth. Molly's mission is to help people rediscover joy, confidence, and fulfillment by living authentically and in alignment with their values. I'm so delighted to share this beautiful conversation with Molly Smith. Sweet Molly, I've already decided that you are one of my favorite people. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I am so glad to just get to know you and your audience, and let's just, share what we know. Oh, it's so good. I love this knowledge that what we focus on grows and that we're a magnet. And I love that I am attracting the coolest people that I didn't even have to leave my house to meet you. You're in Texas.
I
That's
am.
so fun.
Yeah.
I'm this platform of this podcast, if I can just pause in
Let's
appreciation.
do it.
Oh my word. What a gift. And
Yes.
what a joy and a delight to have a microphone, have a
Yes.
platform, and have something to say that
Yeah.
is in contribution and in alignment and an invitation to bring people together in an expansive way that's all a life of yes. It's
Amen, girl.
so good. Like how we're
Yes.
at work right now.
Yes.
Like
Right.
how is
How is
this
this what I do?
happening?
How
Oh
is this what I
my gosh. And it's
do?
so beautiful because we know
Yeah.
how. We're the deliberate creators of our own experience. That's
Yes, we
how.
are.
But it is still, I mean, I was a wedding planner for 30 years. So it's kind of that moment when you're about to walk down the aisle and you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, all my best friends are here and they're wearing matching dresses and mine is white and I have flowers and there's me. Oh my gosh, I'm
This
getting
is
married right
happening.
now. Like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? And,
Right.
of course, you know how it happened, but
Yeah.
it's still like to have those moments of presence and appreciation. I feel like I'm in a hot air balloon right now and I'm just keep rising and rising. And
Mm.
the view from here is amazing, I've got to
Spectacular.
say.
Yes.
And I can see so much more. I can
Mhm.
see so much more as far as perspective,
Mhm.
but so much more as far as opportunity and growth and
Yeah.
beauty, and to be truly, truly appreciative of what is and eager for more.
Yes. Yes. Blissful dissatisfaction. That's
Mm,
what Ed Milet calls it. You know Ed Milet?
I do. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Which,
It's
I
so
mean, that
good.
that's what it is. Being very content and joyful, and having bliss in where you are at right now and being in the present, but then knowing that there's so much more out
Right.
there. Yeah.
Right. Right. It's so good. Okay.
Yeah.
On my last interview, I forgot to ask my opening question until almost the end because I was like so in it with her. So I'm going to not do that this time.
Okay.
How are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Mm. I am saying yes to myself by releasing the hustle
Mm.
and pursuing alignment.
Oh, that's yummy. Say more.
Yeah. Yeah. So for a lot of years, I've spent over 2.5 decades in corporate America. Growing up, that was, my definition of success was success in business. And so right out of college, I got in with, a software company and I worked in, software and technology operations for a little over 20 years. And about 5 years ago, I went to go work for a different type of company, still a technology company, but different type of company in an executive role. And, rolled up my sleeves and, you know, figured out how to get it done. It was a smaller company where you wear multiple hats and was going to make my mark. It's the only female executive and loved I still work for the company but in a different capacity. And what I found is that the more I hustled as the company was growing, the more out of alignment I was.
Mm.
And that comes to a head. When you are operating from a place of hustle, that is that the root of that is scarcity, right?
Yep.
For me, the additional roots were imposter syndrome and my self-worth being tied to what I do for a living and not inherently who I am.
Mm.
And I'll tell you, came to a tipping point a couple of years ago, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. And so I started pursuing, I didn't know what it was at the time, but pursuing alignment. What feels good. Again, couldn't name it, but I knew what I didn't want. I knew the contrast.
Right?
Right.
So good.
And so like when you've been living in the contrast, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to pursue something else. And what I found as I started making decisions, big decisions, little decisions, that felt really grounded in who I was, in what I now know is alignment, the the door to freedom, the door to opportunity, the door to step into what you're being called to do blows wide open. Wide open. Yeah.
Preach it, sister.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
word. It's so good.
Yeah. There's so much freedom on the other side of, in the process of, and on the other side of making decisions
That's right.
that are not rooted in hustle, they're not rooted in scarcity, they're not rooted in fear. They're rooted in truly following what energizes you and what fills your cup.
Oh my gosh, 1,000 times yes.
Yes.
Freedom is a decision away.
Yes, it is.
And I love your emphasis on the decision. You cannot,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I don't think you can. I don't want to speak for everyone. You can't say, we want something different. I don't want this. Like living in the contrast and thinking that just because I don't want this, that freedom is available. We make a decision and we take inspired action, which is where that alignment comes from. And that
Yes.
word, we talked about that last week on the podcast as well. The year that I chose aligned as my word of the year, ooh, everything
Yeah.
changed. Like,
Yeah.
except for my address, but the people that used to live at this address no longer lived at this address.
Yeah.
Everything shifted. And it wasn't because I wasn't because I did change. What do I want to say? I didn't become a new person. I remembered who I was.
Oh, girl. That's a mic drop moment.
Right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And the decision brought the freedom. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, it required inspired action.
Yes.
Confidence is on the other side of courage. So
Mm-hmm.
I was reading, Brianna Weiss she wrote many fabulous books, but one is called The Pivot Year. And it was talking about, you think you're looking for answers, but you're actually looking for courage because you already know what.
You know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, yes, you're right. And
Yes.
that courage that I took to change the trajectory. I was in a 22-year marriage. My courage set both of us free. Like
Yes.
it's a
Ooh.
double blessing. You figuring that out in your workplace, it's a double blessing. You
Absolutely.
still work there and it's in a different capacity.
Yeah.
I now co-parent with my ex-husband and we're brilliant at that
Yes.
because we are not in the same room. It's so good. It's so, so, so good. And
Yeah.
in fact, our daughter is 11. She's a unicorn, the most amazing human ever. She mentioned to me a couple of months ago, just kind of I wasn't even asking her about it, but she just said, it seems like dad's really happy. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I think she actually said so much happier. And
Ah.
I just felt like that might be the best compliment I've ever
Mm-hmm.
received.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's writing a thank you note. He might not even see how those two things are related, but I
Sure.
receive that cosmic
Mm.
thank you note all the time because
Yes.
I believe her experience is so much better because of my courage and my decision. And then the trajectory and the practice of these
Yes.
continued aligned decisions have created the
Yes.
beautiful life that has me at work in this very moment.
That's amazing. When we're in those decision moments, when we're living in the contrast and we know the answer, but we're afraid to make the answer or to make that decision, and we find the courage to do so, for me, I've had lots of those moments, and the turning point to say, okay, yes, I'm going to decide to do this. You don't always know
Nope.
what step 22 looks like, and you're on
That's
step one.
right.
Step one is making that decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, I'm an overthinker. And so a lot of times I'll hem and haw over making the decision I know I need to make because I don't know the trajectory of where it's going to go. I don't know step 22. I've got to remember that making the decision is step one, and then you take the next best step.
Right.
And as you go, you'll see opportunities open, doors open, conversations happen. You meet somebody you never thought you would meet, and you could have never predicted that was going to be the outcome of the decision. Like, I'm sure when you made that decision to say, like, this isn't working, like, did you think however many years later that your daughter would say, Dad is so much happier?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have known that.
No, I had no idea. In fact, I'm not sure if I'm an overthinker, but for sure I'm an overfunctioner. And my overthinking showed up in, I know I'll be fine. I'll be better than fine. I'm Wendy effing Harrop. Like, I got this. Whatever this is, I've got it. Especially if it's my choice, I've super got it. I was really afraid. In all honesty, I thought he would be so, I don't even know, broken, devastated, not know what to do. I thought he might take his life.
Oh, goodness.
I know. And in retrospect, that is so not my side of the street. Also, he's fine. And, he didn't realize that, he was holding himself in the bondage he created for himself. And it wasn't like just, I don't need to clarify this for anyone, but I will just say the words, I hate my life, I hate this house, I hate my job, like these were common things. It wasn't like he was floating around so happy with me and I was like, I don't like you. It wasn't like that at all. So all to say, we don't know what step 22 is. And chances are step 22, if you did know what it was on the day you took step 1, will be completely different by the time you get to 22. So
totally.
It is really this, I know we hear this all the time, but it is trusting the process. It is trusting the divine that only wants your highest and best and only wants all the other players, only wants their highest and best as well. And so when we can focus, when we can breathe, when we can operate in abundance as opposed to scarcity, as you mentioned before, and we can ask ourselves, what is my role in this today?
Yes.
And sometimes, especially during the 9 months that I was sitting in the question of my marriage, I couldn't even answer what is my role in this today. I was, how would you have me use these next 15 minutes?
Ooh.
What would you have me do? Where would you have me go?
That's right.
What would you have me say? And to whom would you have me say it? I am a student of A Course in Miracles, and that lesson really stuck with me. And I would be, what would you have? How may I be of service?
Right. What am I going to learn from this? What do I need to take from this? How do I need to show up in this?
Right this second.
Right.
Like, sometimes it was send an email. Sometimes it was get the mail. Sometimes it was check on the chickens. Sometimes it was, get your journal. I just didn't know. And I was surrendered and allowed myself to be led.
That's hard. That's, first of all, that is incredible. That you've got that level of awareness to look at a situation, a hard situation, and actually pivot and reframe from that perspective, right?
It's a gift.
It is a gift. But I do believe like that it also, I think, is a skill that can be developed
Totally. Because of
as
my
well.
practice, I
Yes.
could, I mean, I did the reps, right?
Yes.
So I had,
Yes.
you can run the marathon because you've done the training.
That's
So
exactly right. That's exactly right.
I don't run marathons. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I understand if you train, you can do it.
It's a good analogy. It's a
Yeah.
good analogy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it.
Oh
That's
my
amazing.
gosh.
That's amazing.
Oh, so tell me, what does it mean to be the chief positivity officer? Because I love that about you.
Yeah. So, gosh, a couple of years ago, it's been, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I had one of those days, working mom. I'm sure you've had it where it's like everything is just happening. Life is lifing. And like, I had one of those days, my kids were a little bit younger, and then it just started getting comical. All of the things that were like happening. It's like, what else? Just bring it on. And so I had posted on Facebook. I'd posted about my day on Facebook, and I hashtagged Molly positive pants. Like, I'm putting on my positive pants because here's the deal. Like, you can't always control what's coming at you, but you can control how you respond.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my positive pants on. I'm going to do the best that I can. And it kind of stuck, this kind of hashtag Molly positive pants. And so when I started my company, and it's kind of it's definitely has gone viral, but the people who are connected to me, they and my family, like people will say to my sister who lives in the area, she's like, yeah, you're Molly positive pants' sister, right?
Oh,
Which is super funny. And I've actually been out in our town, and it's like, hey, Molly positive pants. Like it's kind of odd.
I love it.
I know, right? So when I was forming my company, I was like, what do I could have any title I want. And I was like, you know what? That's me. Chief positivity officer. And I'll tell you, like, I don't stand behind toxic positivity, but I
Right.
do stand behind that we have a choice on how we respond when things show up. And I, more times than not, will say, okay, what do I need to learn from this? Or if I catch
Mm-hmm.
myself getting into that, kind of victim mentality, now I've built that awareness. It's like, wait a minute, this has happened for a reason. I have a choice in how I respond. What can I learn from this? Right.
Right.
And so that's kind of how it was birthed.
Oh, I love that. And I
Yeah.
love that we do have, I mean, we have choices all day long. And
Yes, we do.
when we're recognizing, like, oh, this feels like one thing after the other. Okay, I
Yes.
need to I need to clean this up. I need to clean up my vibration if I'm a magnet.
Exactly.
And the common denominator is it feels like it's happening to me. Okay, what do I? And so for me, and I'd love to hear what your practice is when you do this,
Hmm.
because for me, it's like, okay, like I don't know what's happening. All right, well, what do I know? I know that things are happening for me, not to me. I
That's right.
know that I'm a magnet. And I know that if I want a different experience, I'm going to clean this up. So I'm going to look for an easy existing match to what changes my mood, my vibration, my feelings. And for me,
Yeah.
it's Amelia, my daughter, who I said is a unicorn. She is the most amazing human I have ever met. And I can think about her and immediately be happy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if the thing that is causing us stress has to do with Amelia. I can be frustrated about, I don't know, something with my divorce settlement, and I can think about Amelia. I could be frustrated that my tractor won't turn on, and I can think about Amelia. I can be frustrated that a flight is
She's your
delayed.
anchor.
Think
She's your
about
anchor.
Amelia. Yes, like
That's
you don't
brilliant.
have to
Yeah.
find, you don't, because you mentioned toxic positivity.
Hmm.
You don't have to spin the current situation into something that sounds nicer, because
Oh,
it doesn't, your words don't mean anything. It's your emotions or your thoughts about it. So you just find the thing. And if the thing that you love is the ocean, then think about the ocean.
There you go. Yes. It's fascinating. I've studied manifestation and vibration and frequency pretty heavily over the last 12 months. And what I have found, what I've discovered through my own growth and development is that when I'm stuck in a funk, and I wrote a whole book about that, right? So when I'm stuck in a funk, how do I pivot out of that funk? And it all starts with, for me, what's my current reality? Like, where am I right now? And just getting really honest, not sugarcoating it, not beating yourself up, but just getting really honest. Okay, what's my current reality? How do I feel in that current reality? Maybe I'm frustrated or angry or embarrassed or whatever it is, but really, and I've been developing that skill of saying, okay, what am I actually feeling? And tapping into
Mm.
that. Then it's like, how do I want to feel instead? I don't want to feel frustrated, angry. How do I want to feel? I want to feel confident and secure and safe and content, right? So I'm living in the contrast. What is it that I want to feel? And then I'm like, okay, what's one thing that I can do that'll make me feel content, secure, happy, safe, right? So that I can look back to my past and say, okay, when was the last time that I felt these things? Even if it's in a different area of your life, like when was the last time I really felt like truly content? And then I go and do that thing, because the action is going to drive the feeling that we want to feel. And the reason why we make decisions for any purpose really is because we think it's going to drive a certain feeling, right?
Right. We'll feel better in the having of it.
That's exactly
Right.
right. And I've been a health coach as well for a lot of years, and I've worked with hundreds of people, helping them shift their habits and that type of thing. But the bottom line is, and like all of these people that I've worked with, it's like you are eating and drinking the things because you are thinking that it is going to make you feel a certain way,
Mhm.
right? So if we don't actually get down to that root of, can you name and acknowledge and attune your emotions?
Mm.
If you can't, we got to start there. We have to start there. And so, and listen, I'm 100% not an expert in this. I am a work in progress. I've got a few steps of intentionality, and that's how I work with. Those are the kind of people that I love to work with. The ones who want to build that self-awareness and build that skill, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to, what is it that we want to feel?
Yes.
And then taking an aligned, inspired action to help drive that feeling.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, tell me about the book, please.
Yes. So the book is called What the Funk. And
I love it.
it's so amazing. I signed with my publisher in November of 2023. I knew that I had a story. I didn't know how to write a book. Like, I've corporate America for the last 25 plus years. Didn't know how to write a book, but I knew I had a story. And I knew I knew I wanted it to be really applicable and relatable, that people could pick it up and flip to any chapter and read it and be like,
Mm.
okay, I have a next best step. Next best step is the name of my company. And it's part of my vernacular. Like, what's the next thing you can do, right? And so I was contemplating, okay, this book, what's a good, and What the Funk came immediately to me. Like, it was a
So good.
divine download, right? So I was like, and I just busted out laughing, because I was like, that's it. Like,
Right?
I just had that knowing. I'm like,
Right. It's
that's the name of
cute.
my book.
It's
Yeah.
cheeky. I
Yeah.
love it.
And it's a little bit of a nod to my propensity to swear, which is a
Mm-hmm.
thing. So,
Yep.
anyway, so I wrote that book during 2024. And essentially, the book is a practical guide to getting out of the funk with your health, your mindset, and your purpose. And I tell stories from my life. And just like I'm sure, you have seen, and with the people that you have chatted with and interviewed, people's purpose and biggest path to impact comes from their place of pain.
Mm.
Right. And so I shared the stories, 6 years ago, I lost 50 pounds and took back my health. What I didn't understand when I was in that process, like, I was just trying to fit into my clothes, but what I didn't
Right.
understand was that became the foundation through which I could really identify that I was made for more, that I was built for more, that I had a soul aligned purpose waiting for me, but I wasn't going to be able to get there carrying around a lot, 50 pounds of extra weight. Right.
Yeah.
And so I tell that story. I also tell the stories about, I have run a half marathon. I
Good
did
job.
that. Yep, thank you. I was in a phase then where I was like, you know what? Nobody's going to tell me that I can't do it,
That's
including me.
right.
So I'm like, I was on, for a couple of years, I was like, you know what? I can't run a mile without an oxygen tank.
Right. I run errands.
Yeah. Yes, girl, you are my people. So, I signed up for a half marathon and I started in 14 weeks later. I say ran the marathon. Now I'm putting air quotes up here. I finished the half marathon and
Good job.
I finished it by, doing walk run intervals. I did not run 13.1 miles, right?
Right. But you weren't in a car.
No. No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You completed a half marathon.
I completed a half marathon. I crossed the finish line in a not very impressive time, but it wasn't about the time. It was about setting out to do something I'd never done. And so I was like, okay, what's next? And so I did 2 triathlons as well. And then I realized, I'm like, yeah, it's not my thing. I hadn't ridden a bike since I was 13.
Wow.
And so, call it 35 years. And so I signed up for the triathlon, didn't have a bike, so got a bike. And I had never, ever swum laps. Like I could swim, but swimming laps, never done that before. Taught myself that.
Wow.
And then I did a triathlon in Marco Island, Florida, and then another one in the hill country of Texas a year later. And then I was like, you know what? That's good. I'm done. Check. Not my thing. But I did it, So I tell those stories, and I tell the stories of, you take that next best step when you're in that funk. You've got to identify, like, am I in a funk? Right. So every chapter in the book is it ends with, how do I know that I'm in a funk? What does pursuing alignment look like? And what's your next best step? Now, pursuing alignment, it's so fascinating. I don't know if this is something that more women think of than men, but I just know that this is common with women, especially those who I've chatted with. It's when you are pursuing alignment, there is freedom in the decision to say, I'm going to do X, right? Like there's a lot of times there's kind of an immediate relief or resolve, right?
Right.
And so the freedom actually comes in the pursuit.
Right.
The making the steps, those 22 steps, and you don't know what all those steps are. The freedom actually comes in those steps because you've made a decision, you have resolve. And so the idea behind the book is, how do I know when I'm stuck? What does pursuing alignment look like? And then what's my next best step? Don't worry about step 22. What's the next one? You don't need to worry about step 12. Take the next one, because it will become more clear each step you take.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love it. How do you help your clients who feel like they can't take step 1 without knowing 22?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get really anchored in how they feel right then.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's rooted in fear. Right? And so when we think about I'm afraid to take that step, then we need to dig into that. What happens if, is that fear? Is it rooted in a story that you've told yourself? Is it rooted in a past pattern or something? So it's rooted in something. So we got to figure that out, right? We got to decrypt that. And then because when somebody's scared to take that step, they've got a vision of what's potentially possible.
Right.
They've got the vision. So really getting very crystal clear on, what would you love? What would you love? Right? So
what if it works?
Yes, exactly. And here's the thing, when we make big changes, and I'm sure you have seen this and read this and experienced this in your studies and in your life, but our brain is designed to keep us safe. The ego is meant to keep us safe, right? And we got to acknowledge that. But when we are making changes, it's going to feel disorienting. And so that's where it's like, okay, where do we need to kind of regulate the nervous system?
Right.
Through that process? Because, I don't know about you, but I've had this notion where it's like, yes, I want to build, a big speaking career. Like that's one of the things that I absolutely get energized with doing is sharing about these things and so forth. But it's like, is it going to be hard? Is it going to be? And so you get kind of worked up into that self-doubt. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Why are you pursuing that? Right? Getting very clear. What does that vision look like? How are you going to feel in that vision? Painting that end scene. What would you love? Okay, great. Great. Let's get really clear on that. And then what's the next step? What's the next thing you can do? And then get grounded in that. Let's do some nervous system regulation. Let's identify it. Like to do big things, you got to build some awareness. You got to build some emotional vocabulary and resiliency.
Right.
And then the last thing is you gotta have the right support behind you.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta anchor. You gotta be connected to somebody who's either done it, right, or who is willing to walk alongside of you, and be that voice to help keep you anchored. And so that's what I do with my clients.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love this decision and holding space to play that tape out, because sometimes we could say, oh, that's too hard. That's too hard. That's too hard. And we just keep, well, say more. Oh, I don't, it's just, I could never do that. Okay. That's just, you just said the same thing twice. So
That's
say
right.
more. And it's when you hold space for that fear
Yes.
and play the tape out. What's the worst thing that could happen? Okay. And then what's the worst thing that could happen? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the worst thing that could happen after that? And you just like, oh, never mind. It's not hard, because you just have only stopped yourself at that will never happen, or that's too hard, or I don't know how I could ever do that.
Yes. And that limiting belief keeps you stuck. A limiting belief is just a practice thought.
Yes.
Right. And so let's change the thought.
Right.
Right.
Right. Which is, there's a practice to that.
Yes.
But it feels so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep doing it.
That's right.
It's not like, oh, well, that would be really hard to change my thoughts, honestly.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I realized as I was going through this kind of journey of realizing, hey, like the job that I'm in, this corporate job that I'm in, moving further away from my skill set. And at the time, I was taking 100 days away from drinking wine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was one of those 1 to 3 glasses of wine every night,
Yep.
unwind from the day, that kind of thing. And it was just impacting how I was showing up. So I had decided, okay, I'm going to go 100 days without alcohol. And in that 100 days was when I said the scariest thing I've ever said in my career. And I was like, I hit that wall. It's like, this is not working for me. I'm not the best fit for this. And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I been drinking every day like I was.
Right. Because you were playing the tape out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also in that period, I realized that wine drinking at the end was a coping mechanism for the misalignment that I felt and for the emotions I didn't know how to name.
Right.
But one of the things that I replaced that wine with was scrolling, binge watching, and all that. I can escape and numb and ignore and hustle with the best of them as a coping mechanism. But when we do that, what we consume, what we read, what we watch, what we scroll, all of those things, that impacts our thoughts, which shape our beliefs, which fuel our actions, which dictate our results. So if we don't like our results, one of the things I also work with my clients on is, what are you consuming? Are you consuming a lot of content that keeps you in a comparative reality? That keeps you, on listening to the headlines on the news, like that keeps you in a state of fight or flight, right?
For sure.
And so if we want to shift those thoughts, then we need to take a look at what's going in first. Can we add some things that will curate a more positive outlook, a more positive mindset? And then can we subtract or reduce some of the things that are potentially keeping you stuck? And so we can start to reframe thoughts that way, and then it trickles down.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. Oh, I love all of this. And I love your addition in the steps that you listed earlier about doing this with somebody, a trusted, a coach, a mentor, a friend. That's great. And you'll go a little faster if you
Absolutely.
have a coach or a mentor instead. And I think there's so much benefit. I mean, we already
Yes.
know because this is what we do, but
Yep.
one of the key benefits that I find, and we have this fabulous membership associated with the podcast called the Say Yes Sisterhood. And what I love so much about these conversations is we're cheering each other on toward our next yes. I am an idea factory for, like, if I met you on a plane and you like, I could tell you 8,000 things you could do to grow your business because I have zero resistance to your success. And that is
That's
the
right.
beauty of working with a coach,
Mm-hmm.
because I used to think when I would be talking to my coach and, she would be the idea factory for me, in my head, I was saying, yeah, but if you knew, you wouldn't be saying that, because if she really had all the information I have, she would see how what she's saying is not even possible. But it's all that information that I have that is keeping me stuck, that's keeping me small. We manifest at the rate of safety. So
Yes.
having someone that you trust, that you can work this muscle with, it's a spiritual trainer instead of a personal
Yes.
trainer, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
then you can hitch your wagon to their star because they do see more clearly for you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's not delusional, it's
Mm-mm.
actual vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have I've literally had a coach for everything. Like
Right.
if you want to go fast, you get a
Mm-hmm.
coach.
That's
If you
right.
want to expedite your transformation, your impact, your vocation, get a coach. I mean, I've had coaches for everything from I've had a spiritual coach, I've had a manifestation coach, public speaking coach, executive coach, personal trainer, so, coach.
Right.
I mean, at various times in my life, and it has helped me accelerate where I want to go.
Yes.
Because when you're doing something new and you don't have the blueprint or you don't have somebody to that can kind of pave the way,
Right.
then you can get stuck, you can get rooted in self-doubt, and that can keep you stuck. So huge fan of having a coach. Like
Right. And
it's
you
the way to
not
go.
only go faster, you go farther.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would say there are three things that I did to reinvent myself after 50. And the first one was to invest in myself. Sometimes there are some limiting beliefs around that,
Hmm.
and about, well, I can't hire this person until I know that step 22 is going to bring me all
Yes.
the money.
Right.
And that is just the beauty of the word. It is an investment,
That's
and
right.
there is no greater investment than you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
Couldn't
just,
agree more.
it's so, it feels so easy on
Yes.
this side of it, but that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
And it was hard because I had a whole story about it. And
Worse.
I had, people saying that that was just, oh, your little business. It wasn't even referred to as a small business. It was referred to as a little business. And I know it's so offensive. Like, the woman I am now would be like,
Like,
step
yes.
off.
Like I might
But
want to throat punch that person. It's
totally,
like,
like, straight to the neck. But at the time, I was like, oh, you're right. I mean, you guys, sweet listener, even favorite Molly, if you knew me then, I was such an eye roll. Like, I handed my power over to people that weren't even requiring it because I thought that that made me a good girl, it made me a good Christian, it made me a good wife, it made me a good daughter, it made me good. Like, even when I hired my first coaches, I wouldn't even use the, you can check in between your calls. So
oh yeah.
we would use Voxer.
Yeah.
I would never
Yeah.
use my Voxer access.
Oh,
I would solve the problem. I would experience the issue, I would solve it, and then wait for my call to tell them how I solved it so that they would be proud of me. So, like, they didn't even
Mm.
have to coach me. I was your number one client. You didn't even actually have to coach me because I'm just going to do this and you're just going to say, I'm amazing. It's like, oh my word.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun
Yeah.
for me because I love, like, oh, that's shadowy. Let's get a flashlight in there. So I love now that retrospect to
Yeah.
just laugh at myself and
Yeah.
to also encourage and applaud myself to keep going and allow myself to be coachable
Yes.
and to put down the good girl persona, which served me very, very well until it didn't.
Yeah.
Did you know? I thought dreams were just to look at, but I didn't know you could actually have them.
Yes, you
In high
can.
school, my favorite song was Howard Jones' No One Is to Blame. I don't know if you remember this song, but it
Mm-mm.
was like, you can look at the mountain, but you just can't climb it. You can, like, you want the
Yes.
boy and he wants you, but you guys can't have each other. Like, it was all of
Right.
these things of like, you're so close, like
Lack.
you trip at the finish line. It's like, what the actual F? How
That's
is that what is this rally cry of
right.
you can't actually have what you want? I mean, is that
Yeah.
shocking to anyone that's listening that I used to think that? I mean, I
Yeah.
built a whole life on that. And no one was mad. Nobody was
That's right.
mad that I was more committed to their success, and that's how I defined my own.
Yes.
And this, I'll tell you, if you want to shake things up, make aligned your word of the year. And then,
And then action it. My word for 2025 is surrender.
ooh, yeah,
Is
you're really
specifically
brave. You're super
surrendering the
brave.
hustle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like, that hustle mentality, that's how I'm saying, like, surrendering the hustle mentality is how I'm saying yes to myself in this season. And as I am continuing to build my business, I have to keep that in check, because
Right.
that ability to roll up my sleeves and just plow through, get it done, which that tenacity will serve me
Totally.
when I am operating from a place of energetic alignment,
Right.
right? And when I'm not operating from that, it feels like resistance. It feels forced, and it doesn't feel authentic. And so those are my barometers. But I default to, oh, I'll just plow through and get it done. And
Right.
so I'm really in this season of, okay, don't do it because you think it's what you need to do. What actually feels aligned? Can you get
Right.
quiet enough to hear the intuition, to hear the gut say, uh-huh? Because when you operate from a place like that, girl, it comes from flow.
Right.
It is
And
amazing.
the action might sound like it has nothing to do with your business.
Yeah.
It might sound like go on a
Yeah.
cruise. I went on a cruise earlier this year. I don't know if you follow Abraham Hicks, but I mean, obviously our language is the same. So I
Yes,
think you do.
totally.
Yeah, I went on an Abraham Hicks cruise, which, Queen, you have
So
to.
good.
I
So good.
also followed it up a month later with a 2-day workshop in Edinburgh, Scotland, because who am I? I know what I want and I go there. And the first day of the cruise, I mean, everybody, please, you got to do
Right.
this. It's so, I mean, talk about like binging your favorite podcast and being so energized and uplifted. That's what it was 11 hours of workshop. It just kept piling on the beautiful building from the energy already there. Anyway, it's so I could be the keynote speaker on why everyone should go. But it was so fabulous. And I laid by the pool every day, sipping champagne,
Mm.
had the highest grossing revenue week in my business ever. It's like, huh, That's
Love it.
interesting. I think
Love it.
I am in the state of allowing. I think I am onto something. And my 2025 word or phrase of the year is let it be easy. And it's so funny. I keep forgetting that that's my mantra. So I've started adding it to my journaling in the morning.
Good.
How can I let
Yeah.
this be easy?
Yes.
How can I implement ease? I mean, how ridiculous that these are the hard questions I'm asking myself. How can this be easier? Because it is that flow, it is that alignment, it is that trajectory of that energy that
Yes.
has us be the people that
Yes.
have the things that
Yes.
we want, and it is
Yes.
not related to hustle. there
Right.
there are not enough hours in the day or enough clients on the planet to generate the wealth that I desire. So there's got to be another way, and I am here for it, and it is
You and me
easy
both.
and it is fun, and it is that the homework. The whole reason I was telling you that is our quote unquote homework assignment on the first day of the cruise was to have fun, but it was to have fun and not feel guilty. And
Yeah.
that is pure positive energy.
Yes.
That is joy. That
Yes.
is
Yes.
alignment. That is what's
Yes.
the next best step in my business
Yes.
is go on a cruise.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Let's try
amazing.
this. See how
Let's
it
do
goes.
that. That is amazing. I love that. Where did you cruise to on that? Where were the
The
destinations on the cruise?
Caribbean,
Mm,
which was not even okay. I'll tell
who
you guys
cares?
also, I wanted to go on the Scandinavian cruise,
Hmm.
but the timing wasn't working with my co-parenting calendar.
Yep.
And I did not want to go on the Caribbean cruise because I did not want to put a bathing suit on. I mean, is that like talk about what silly nonsense can keep
Yeah.
us from the
Yeah.
things we want? Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
cares? So
Yeah.
I did get over myself. And then I laid by the pool every day in that bathing suit. And I loved that I had tan lines for a solid 2 months, and it felt so good. And I loved it so much. I signed up for the one in 2026, and that's to
Uh,
Panama. I know you should come.
yeah, we're gonna have to send me those
Mhm.
details.
Yes, please.
That sounds amazing.
So fun. Oh my gosh. I love being us.
Yes. Agreed.
It's
Agreed.
so fun. And
Yes.
listener, you get to live the life. You are living the life that you want. And if you want a better one, you get to live that one too. We
That's
are
right.
all just leading each other home.
That's right. That's
Oh my
right.
gosh. Molly,
Yes.
this absolutely cannot be the last time that we chat because I love you so
No way.
much. It's too good.
Ditto. Ditto.
Oh my word. Okay, please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can get their hands on the books, all the good things.
Yes. Yes. So
I said
you can
books. Did you know that you're writing another one?
oh
Did I tell you that?
I've
I just spoke.
I've published 3. What
Okay,
the
good,
fuck?
good. So there are
Yes.
books. Okay, good.
There are books, but there will likely be another one right now. Not right now, but I've got some stuff brewing. But you can find me on Facebook. My handle is Molly Moore Smith. On Instagram is molly.positivepants. And then you can hit me up on my website, nextbeststep.co.
Perfect. We will link all of that down in the show
Thank you.
notes.
Great.
I love you so much. This was so fun. Thank you
Yes, it
for
was.
being here.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.